Before Toyota became the global powerhouse we know today, a brand synonymous with reliability, innovation, and engineering mastery, it began life in a very different world. In the early 20th century, Toyota wasn't building cars. It was building looms. Founded by Sakichi Toyoda, an inventor and industrialist known as the King of Inventors in Japan, the company's origins lay in textile machinery. But it was Sakichi's son, Kiichiro Toyoda, who would change the company's destiny forever. In the early 1930s, Kiichiro traveled to Europe and the United States, where he witnessed the rise of the automobile industry firsthand. He was captivated. He saw cars not just as machines, but as symbols of progress, complex yet powerful tools that could transform a society. With his father's blessing and part of the profits from selling the patent rights to Sakichi's automatic loom, Kiichiro began developing Japan's first mass-produced car. The result was the Toyota Model AA, introduced in 1936. It was more than a machine, it was a mission. Built by the automobile department of Toyota Automatic Loom Works, the Model AA represented Japan's ambition to create a homegrown automotive industry in a world still dominated by American and European manufacturers. The Model AA featured a 3,389 cubic centimeters, 3.4-liter, inline, 6-engine producing 65 horsepower at 3,000 RPM, mated to a 3-speed manual transmission. The car's steel body rode on a robust ladder frame, and its suspension used leaf springs front and rear, a typical setup for the time. But what set it apart was the fact that it wasn't a one-off prototype. It was a car built with production in mind. The exterior design was heavily influenced by the 1934 DeSoto Airflow, one of the first American cars to be shaped in a wind tunnel. Toyota's engineers admired its aerodynamic style, integrated headlights, and modern, rounded silhouette, all of which found their way into the Model AA. With a wheelbase of 2,850 mm and an overall length of nearly 4.8 meters, the Model AA was spacious and elegant by 1930 standards. It seated 5 adults comfortably and included luxury touches like a dashboard with wood trim and a crank-operated windshield wiper. Despite being Toyota's first passenger vehicle, it was far from crude. In fact, its ride comfort and refinement were seen as surprisingly advanced for a company with no prior experience building cars. Production ran from 1936 to 1942, with only 1,404 units built, many of which were used by government officials and military personnel during Japan's pre-war expansion. These early vehicles were hand-assembled, and each one represented a leap forward in Toyota's understanding of automobile production, materials, and engineering. The following year, in 1937, the automotive division of Toyota Automatic Loom Works spun off into a separate company, Toyota Motor Company, Limited. The name was changed from Toyota to Toyota because the latter required 8 brush strokes to write in Japanese, a number considered lucky, and because it sounded crisper, more modern, and less directly tied to the family business. Today, the Toyota Model AA holds a near-mythical place in automotive history. Original examples are incredibly rare, so rare, in fact, that for decades it was believed none had survived. In 2008, a Model AA surfaced in Russia, found in remarkably original condition, and is now displayed at the Toyota Automobile Museum in Japan, alongside a hand-built replica constructed from old blueprints and photographs. But the Model AA is more than just a vintage car. It's a monument to vision, risk, and transformation. It represents the exact moment when a loom company became an automaker, and when Japan began its journey toward becoming an industrial giant. The Toyota Model AA didn't just pave the road for Toyota. It paved the road for an entire nation's future on 4 wheels.